was just watching the Patrick Bet David podcast, and they were discussing Martin Luther King and Charlie Kirk. And this conversation is quite literally the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. They were discussing this Dave Chappelle special on Netflix where Dave Chappelle made fun of people who compare Charlie Kirk's legacy to MLK and say they're the same or that Charlie is like the second MLK, which obviously I think is absurd.
What I want to get into is, do you want to go what Dave Chappelle said about Charlie Kirk?
Sure.
Let's go to that one. Can you play the clip about what Dave Chappelle said about Charlie Kirk? Here's Dave Chappelle. He said a lot of things this weekend. A lot of things. I don't know if you watch it or not, Vinny. Did you? How was it? It's okay.
It was. He's the best. The first thing I saw, he had a Kaepernick, the name Kaepernick on the back of his shirt. I'm like, what the, like Colin Kaepernick. With all due respect, give me a effing break. The guy whose career went to so he was like, let me grow my afro as big as possible and give me, come on.
Well, let's read the story.
And started hating on white people, and his parents are adopted.
I'm actually
white.
with Vinny.
These people live in their own sick reality, bro. Colin Kaepernick never hated on white people. Colin Kaepernick is half white. His adopted parents are white. Colin Kaepernick took a knee, right, in protest of police brutality. That's why you hate Colin Kaepernick. You hate him because he was protesting police brutality. He never committed a crime. He never brutalized anybody. He never victimized anybody. So you have all that animosity in your heart for Colin Kaepernick because he took a knee in protest of police brutality. I already know what type of person you are.
I'm actually with Vinny. Go ahead and play this clip. Go ahead.
And the whites were quick to say this. They said, Charlie Kirk is this generation's Martin Luther King.
Mo, can we play it or
on
no?
Netflix? Hold on. I was gonna say, can you play this? I don't know.
This is not the best.
No, no.
We can play a small clip.
What I'm saying
We
is
give
Netflix.
commentary about it.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to get taken down.
As long as we give commentary and
Oh,
talk.
we're gonna give commentary.
Yeah,
Keep
we're
going.
talking. We're talking.
Yeah,
Hey, Netflix, don't take this down. We
Yeah.
want to give you guys promotion on Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's a reach.
Saying that he's not
You know,
MLK.
they both got murdered in a terrible fashion. They both got shot in the neck, but that's about where those similarities end.
Jeez.
Because Charlie Kirk is an internet personality. No, by design. Fundamentally, he can't function like Dr. King. Internet niggas are negative because they have to be. Because nobody will engage them unless they say shit that makes them upset. That's Charlie Kirk.
Wow.
Could you
This is
imagine
shame.
Dr.
This
King
is
was
actually shame. Okay, let him finish. Let him finish.
like Charlie Kirk? Smash that like button and subscribe. Follow me for more content like this. I believe all black people should be free. Change my mind.
It's crowded.
There are so many layers to this. The first layer that I want to get out the way, Dave Chappelle is a legacy celebrity. He's been famous quite possibly before the internet. So Dave Chappelle looked down upon internet celebrities. He looked down upon YouTubers because he's a legacy celebrity, right? So he don't view anybody who made their living or made their way online or on YouTube as somebody who's at a stature that he is. So I can say Charlie Kirk was more than a YouTuber. Charlie Kirk had a lot of influence in this current political landscape. Now, that influence came from a $130 million budget a year, right, from Israeli donors. But nonetheless, though, he had a lot of influence. But that's the thing with MAGA, right, is they go too far. We can admit, Charlie Kirk was influential. Charlie Kirk got busy. Charlie Kirk got things done. Charlie Kirk was not just an internet person. Charlie Kirk got things done in real life. He got busy. But I could also stop at that and say he wasn't MLK, though. He wasn't a Martin Luther King. Excuse me? He's not even in MLK league. It's not even close when it comes to Charlie Kirk and MLK. But, and this is why, man, you got to be really careful in kind of giving props and giving compliments, because MAGA would take something that we all agree upon, which is, bro, Charlie Kirk shouldn't have gotten murdered. That was foul. That was nasty. Charlie Kirk was influential. Charlie Kirk was doing great things for his base. And they would take that and they would just stretch it. Greater than MLK, the greatest activist of all time. What was Charlie Kirk an activist of?
Okay, go ahead, Adam.
Well, Dave Chappelle is just purely wrong about Charlie Kirk. I love Dave Chappelle. I've spent time with Dave Chappelle. I mean, he's, in my opinion, the greatest comedian, certainly of our generation. Chappelle's show was completely groundbreaking 20 years ago, dealing with politics and race relations and sexual relations, everything. Dave Chappelle pulls no punches. He's a free speech absolutist. He understands race and identity and culture, and he's a brilliant, brilliant guy. He's just dead ass wrong about Charlie Kirk. And to dismiss Charlie as just some internet person is, at the very least, uninformed. At the very most, just plain stupid, bro. Charlie Kirk was a monster, a giant in a political, social culture that thrives off social media. He's not a social media influencer like some OnlyFans chick or some kid that's just doing it for likes and clicks. He built a full-on coalition that helped Donald Trump win in 2024. So to dismiss that as some internet person is naive. And again, this is the whole thing. I'm not going to condemn Dave Chappelle or say that he's wrong about everything. Dave Chappelle's right about most things. He's just wrong about this thing.
Benny.
Yeah, just to...
I don't know if you caught what he just did right there.
I definitely saw that.
What did I do right there?
Well,
what did I do right there?
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Benny.
We saw what you did. But think about it.
You know what? I'm out of here, guys.
I
just
Go
really
use your restroom.
exactly.
Go ahead.
I got to go shoot outside.
No, by the way, him saying that he was internet and he was just spewing negative things, Charlie sat in front of college campuses and people all over the country and engaged because of their negative crap. He was the light. He was the positivity. So to compare, to say that, and mind you, yeah, Martin Luther King, it was Martin Luther King, I get it, civil rights and all that stuff, but to brush him off as some internet guy, and by the way, Dave Chappelle is another one of these guys that just has that victim mentality.
Yeah, and I mean, not only is he wrong about Kirk, but he's wrong about Martin Luther King too. He's painting Martin Luther King as if he walked on water and was holier than thou. Martin Luther King, not only he had like a ton of extramarital affairs where he was cheating on his wife.
These people amaze me, man. So this other dweeb here, in an attempt to prove that Charlie Kirk, I guess, is better than MLK, he goes on character assassinations. But here's the thing. A lot of the things that he's about to state are things that J. Edgar Hoover claims he has. They claim they have audio of MLK being present as a woman got raped, but they never provided the audio. They never released it, right? And if one thing I know for a fact MAGA would love more is to tarnish the legacy of the greatest black man in American history, if they could, right? They haven't released the audio, so we don't know that exists. But again, what we do know is J. Edgar Hoover, the man who quote-unquote led the investigation that uncovered all of this, he said his mission was to take away the Black Messiah, was to take away MLK and to leave Black people without a Messiah. That was his goal. So if everything that he ever wanted in life was to tarnish MLK's legacy, what exactly make whatever investigation he did that he uncovered these extramarital affairs? He was on the phone like boo loving to white women. He was doing orgies with white women. Right, he was cheating on his wife. He was present for this and this and this, right? Like plagiarism. How do we know that's factual and that's true? They never released anything. So as you assassinate this man's character to big up Charlie Kirk, you're doing it assuming that J. Edgar Hoover is telling the truth.
He was alleged to have watched sexual assault take place. He was alleged to have done numerous plagiarism throughout his academic career. So, like, a lot of the stuff that he was saying and a lot of stuff that he had credit for, like, might have been BS. And he wasn't the person he, like, painted himself as. You know, like, where Kirk was, like, super Christian, super good guy. And you don't think if MLK was alive today, he'd be using the hell out of social media? Of course he would be. So
He'd be a live streaming machine.
Yeah, all day, every day.
Playing video games and, saying what he's saying. Yeah,
he's a menace today.
Yeah.
Even if we concede the character issues, which we are not conceding it because, again, it has not been confirmed. But even if we want to concede the character issues, and trust me, I was somebody who once believed these things about MLK until I read up on J. Edgar Hoover and his literal obsession with MLK. But if we concede the character flaws, okay, what do the character flaws have to do with the work? What has Charlie Kirk done that can amount to the Civil Rights Act of 1965? What has Charlie Kirk done that can amount to the Voting Rights Act of 1965? What has Charlie Kirk done that can amount to desegregating the Montgomery bus? What has Charlie Kirk done that can amount to anything MLK has done? And this narrative, by the way, because MLK is just looked at as a godfather, we kind of see him older than what he was. Charlie Kirk died at 31 years old. MLK died at 35. They lived like for a similar amount of time, a 4 years difference. Look at what MLK accomplished. Look at what Charlie Kirk accomplished. Also, if you think MLK had a $130 million budget, what do you think MLK would have accomplished? MLK already accomplished 30 to 40 times more than Charlie Kirk. It's not even close. But if MLK had the backing of $100+ million annually, what do you think MLK would have done with that money? How far do you think MLK would have taken us? Now, Charlie to me is at a disadvantage because Charlie isn't representing an oppressed group of people. MLK stepped up at a time where minorities were being oppressed, where he literally had grounds to make up and he got things done. Charlie, again, is no fault of his own, but he didn't have to deal with that era. He was now placed in an era where he had to advocate for people who were being oppressed, who didn't have rights in this country. And that's the difference. Now, Adam, I think eventually calls out that dude for saying some BS and trying to tarnish MLK's legacy. But Patrick Bet-David then begins, by the way, right? So he begins to make a prediction that I think is probably the dumbest prediction ever. If we were betting men, he will lose every single penny of this prediction.
No, he would be. But by the way, in my opinion, I want to go to the next story. My opinion, they both have a massive impact. Martin Luther King is a painting. I have a painting of him in my house that he's in. He's one of the only 8 characters in that painting that I have. But to me, Charlie Kirk is bigger than Martin Luther King, period.
Bigger how? Charlie Kirk didn't do more than MLK. He didn't get things done at the level of MLK. And if we're talking about bigger in terms of fame, Charlie Kirk isn't even 1,000th, a millionth as famous as MLK. Yo, this level of delusion only exists from a certain group of people, bro. Most people would hear this and say, damn, Dave, you wrong, bro. Charlie was more than an internet personality. They hear it and they just go off the wall, which is absolute lies. Now, watch him explain why he thinks Charlie is bigger than MLK.
Charlie Kirk, there's 4,600 hours of him. There's only about 4,200 hours of MLK speaking. You talk about the personal life, even if you go watch some of his documentary, if you type in just type in Dead Mentors as the painting. That's what you got to type. If you go look at some of his documentaries and what he's done, Dead Mentors, not the Dude Romney, Dead Mentors.
Dude Romney.
There you go. That's a go to images and you'll see it. So, no, but to me, Charlie Kirk, what he did is a lot tougher, much bigger. I wouldn't say much tougher because MLK, what he did at his time was tough. But Charlie Kirk made a massive, massive impact. MLK, peaceful protest, the things that he did. Selma followed the story very closely, but I just think Charlie's legacy is going to be bigger long-term than MLK's, my opinion. I think Charlie's legacy is going to be not 2 times, 100 times bigger than MLK's long-term.
It has to be drugs, bro. It got to be coke, homie. It has to be, bruh. Because this is just a baseless, they're just talking. They are verbally jerking off. They're just talking. You have no foundation to stand on. This is a baseless theory. This is just a baseless prediction. That's like me saying, yo, I'm Poetic Flacco. I never drop music. Hey, bro, in 100 years, Poetic Flacco will be a bigger musical artist than Michael Jackson. With what exactly? There's no, there's nothing that you could provide that would make you making this prediction make sense 100 times. Fam, Jesus Christ's legacy is not 1,000 times bigger than MLK. Do you guys understand how huge MLK is? Like how famous, how major, how revered MLK is in the MLK won a Nobel Peace Prize, bruh. This is just disrespectful and dumb, man. Now, at least one of them tried to check them for disrespecting MLK, but as soon as he got on them for disrespecting MLK, they all of a sudden want to move on. When somebody try to defend MLK, all of a sudden, let's move on.
Simply because there's more stuff that's documented with Charlie than there was with MLK.
I don't know if Charlie's going to end up being bigger than MLK. Regardless, to me, MLK, Charlie Kirk, some of the greatest Americans to ever live. You only try to assassinate the people who are the people moving the needle. Abraham Lincoln, JFK, what they try to do to Trump,
go
MLK.
To the next story, Adam.
So what I'm saying, our friend Brandon over here basically only listed the negative about MLK.
Because he said he was perfect.
Okay, who said he's perfect?
Dave Chappelle did.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, but he made him sound like he was perfect.
Okay, but to only highlight the negatives of MLK is doing a disservice to MLK and the country.
All right, let's go
He
to
was
the
one of
next
the greatest
thing here.
Americans
Guys,
ever.
commerce.
As soon as Adam says he's one of the greatest American patriots, let's move on. Enough MLK. All right, man. Now, the metric he's using is apparently speaking hours, which is just stupid. Of course, Charlie Kirk has more speaking hours than MLK. Charlie Kirk was a literal professional YouTuber. All right, I'll probably have more speaking hours than Malcolm X. Will my legacy be bigger than Malcolm X because I have more speaking hours? That's just stupid, bro. But let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this? And if you're still watching this video, then click on this video here somewhere on my screen to find out how, Black conservatives had a very rough day yesterday, more specifically, Myron Gaines. Yesterday was a very bad day for Myron. I'm going to see you guys in this video to find out exactly what I'm talking about. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.